Hi everyone, thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this webinar. My name is Kirsty Patterson and I am a Student Recruitment Coordinator here at the University of the West of Scotland. Today I will be delivering a short presentation on applying to university through UCAS. Today I'll be covering the following topics: what is UCAS, preparation before applying, the application process, and what happens once you have submitted your application. But before I get started talking about all things UCAS, I'm just going to highlight some interesting facts about UWS that you might not already know. At a glance, UWS is one university with 5 campuses. They are in Paisley, Lanarkshire, Ayr, Dumfries, and a campus in London. Our courses have several study abroad opportunities. We have almost 20,000 students, over 60 undergraduate courses, professionally recognised programmes, and practical experience options whilst you study. We have 100% student satisfaction in several subject areas. Our Student Services team won Support Team of the Year. Our Lanarkshire campus won the Sustainable Buildings That Inspire Award. We are ranked in the top 150 Times Higher Young University Rankings 2020, and we are ranked first in the UK for our teacher education programmes. We have 4 academic schools at UWS. They are Business and Creative Industries, Education and Social Sciences, Health and Life Sciences, and Computing, Engineering and Physical Sciences. So, what is UCAS? UCAS stands for the Universities and Colleges Admission Service, and it is an independent charity that provides information, advice and admission services to inspire and facilitate educational progression. As a centralised admission service, they encourage students to consider courses and learning opportunities across the UK and promote choice. They process applications to study full-time courses at universities and colleges in the UK, as well as some countries in Europe. They also provide information, advice and admission services for UK conservatoires, for initial teacher training and for top postgraduate courses. Just to highlight here that the majority of Scottish colleges allow you to apply directly through their website, so you don't necessarily need to use UCAS if you intend to go to college in Scotland. But basically, UCAS is the online platform that you use to apply to university. Preparation before applying. If you're not 100% sure on what course you want to study or what university you'd like to go to, the UCAS website has lots of useful tools to help you do your research. You can use their job profiles to explore different career roles and pathways, or take the Buzz quiz to find out more about your individual strengths and what roles may suit you. The Career Finder tool is an ideal tool for considering options after education. The UCAS website also has a wide range of blogs, case studies and student videos that you can view to help you with all aspects of the application process, student finance and insights into the higher education experience from students of all ages and backgrounds. UCAS are also running a series of virtual exhibitions where you'll be able to chat to colleagues and academics from universities and colleges up and down the country about subjects that you're interested in. I'll talk a little bit more about this later on in the presentation. And finally, attend some open days. Unfortunately, a lot of institutions are unable to host physical open days at the moment due to the current coronavirus situation. However, many are hosting online events. They are a great opportunity for you to ask questions about courses, find out about sports and societies, student support, much more. I highly recommend that you check some of these open days out if you have the chance. Another function that you can use to help you prepare is the UCAS Hub. With the UCAS Hub, you can plan your next steps by using the handy tools to help you make your choices and start your application. These tools include the Explore tool, where you can search subjects and discover courses, the Notepad, the Apprenticeship Finder, the Personal Statement Builder, which will help you to structure your writing and introduce yourself to universities. The Tariff Calculator tallies your UCAS points to see if you meet entry requirements, and many, many more. Your hub is your space, so you can organise the widgets, remove the ones you don't need. It is completely up to you. You can find the UCAS Hub and more information about it at www.ucas.com/hub. Some key facts about the application process. Firstly, it's an online application where you will have to register with UCAS and create some login details. The registration takes about 10 minutes and you are able to log in and out of the application as much as you want to complete it. You can scan the barcode in the middle of the screen there, and this will take you straight to the UCAS registration page. You can make a maximum of 5 choices on your application. That could be 5 courses at one university, 1 course at 5 different universities, or 5 different courses at 5 different universities. The choice is completely yours, but you are limited to those 5. And considering that there are 19 higher education institutions in Scotland alone, it's not a lot, so do make that choice wisely. You do not have to make these choices all at once. You can add more later on. However, remember to check the application deadline and that you are adding these choices well in advance of that deadline. Unfortunately, there are some choice restrictions, meaning that if you would like to apply for dentistry, medicine, veterinary medicine and veterinary science, you are limited to 4 choices, and you can only apply for no more than 1 course at either the University of Oxford or the University of Cambridge, so you cannot apply to both. It is one or the other for those universities, and that is with any subject. There is a cost involved when applying through UCAS. If you'd like to make 1 choice, the cost is £20, or if you'd like to make anywhere between 2 and 5 choices, the cost is £26. No matter how early or close to the deadline you submit your application, UCAS ensures that all applications are equally considered. Therefore, you don't have to rush to get your application sent in. You can take your time, make sure that you're fully happy with it before submitting, make sure you've had a teacher or advisor or a lecturer check over it before you go ahead with submitting it, because you do have plenty of time. And finally, UCAS has an invisibility of choices policy, meaning that they send your application to each of your chosen universities at the same time. This ensures that each university decides independently whether to offer you a place and what conditions, if any, to attach to that offer. It's only much later on in the application cycle, once you've received your decisions and all of your choices and replied to any offers, will each university be able to see details of other choices. It is very, very important to UCAS that confidentiality is maintained on course and university choices until each offer has been responded to by you. The application itself is fairly straightforward. You will have up to 8 sections to complete. These are your personal details, which includes information such as your name and address, any additional information, what student finance you plan to take, your choices. The education section will ask you for all of the qualifications that you have achieved so far, as well as your pending qualifications, i.e. the qualifications your teacher or lecturer thinks you will achieve in the next exam diet. It is important that your pending qualifications are entered accurately, as the universities and colleges use these to help make their decisions. any employment that you may have, your personal statement, and finally details of your referee. Your referee will most likely be your guidance teacher or a lecturer if you're at college. And if you have been out of education for some time, your referee will most likely be a professional colleague. As you progress through your application, you will be able to see the status of each section, i.e. not started, in progress and completed. Once you have completed all the sections of your application, it will be sent on to your referee, who will complete the reference. They'll send it back to UCAS, and UCAS will send it on to your chosen universities. UCAS will send you automated acknowledgement and reminder emails at various stages of your application journey. So even if you forget to complete your application, UCAS won't, and they will send you reminders. I'm just going to briefly mention personal statement. So this is the biggest and most important section of your UCAS application, and I cannot stress this enough. It is so important. It is your chance to really sell yourself and convince the universities that you should get a place to study with them. You only do one personal statement, so it needs to be applicable to all of your choices. For example, if you would like to study perhaps nursing and teaching, your personal statement will have to be applicable to both subjects. You can't have more of a focus on nursing and vice versa. It has to cover both subject areas that you're interested in. You're allowed a maximum of 4,000 characters or 47 lines and a minimum of 1,000 characters. Please do not plagiarise. And again, this is also super important. UCAS will put your personal statement through plagiarism software. And if you have copied someone else's work, unfortunately, your application will not be taken any further. So it is so important that your personal statement is all your own work. If you'd like to find out some really helpful hints and tips on how to write a personal statement, my colleague Adam is running a personal statement webinar next week on Wednesday the 21st of October at 6 p.m. So be sure to scan the QR code on screen there and register for it now, because you will not want to miss it. It's super helpful. So what happens next? So once the universities have received your application, you will begin to receive offers back. The university will make one of 3 offers. Unconditional, meaning that you have met all the conditions and they would like to offer you a place on their course. That is you, set, good to go. There is nothing else you need to do. Conditional means that they have accepted your application, but you have some conditions that you need to meet prior to receiving an unconditional offer. For example, the university might be waiting to see the results of the Highers or HND or HNC that you're currently sitting, or they may ask you to attend an interview, provide a portfolio or an addition, or they may ask you to sit an admissions test. You may be unsuccessful in your application, meaning that the university is unwilling to accept your application for whatever reason. For example, you didn't quite meet the entry requirements, or your personal statement wasn't quite strong enough, or perhaps your interview didn't go quite as well as you hoped. Please do not worry if it takes several months for a university to make a decision on your application. This is just due to the volume of applications that they are receiving and working through, and they have their own set of deadlines which they must make decisions on applications. So you will hear back eventually. You could hear back within 1 week of submitting your application, or perhaps 3 months of submitting your application. But the point is to not worry, you will have a response from the university at some point. UCAS Track. So how will you know what offers you have received? Well, you can view all of your correspondence via UCAS Track. Just log in with your username and password. UCAS Track allows you to follow the progress of your application 24/7. You can view your choices and personal information. You can view your offers and any conditions that you may have received and reply to all of your offers online. When you have received all of your offers, you are then only allowed to carry 2 forward. These are your firm choice, which is your first choice, and your insurance choice, which is your second choice. Your insurance choice acts as a backup if you do not get into your firm choice, and it is very important that you're realistic when you're making these choices. You will have sat your exams by the time you need to make these decisions, so you should have a good indication of how you have performed, and if you think you'll be able to meet your conditions, that is, if you have received any. Once you've made your firm and insurance choice, you must then decline any other offers that you hold. You do not have to make an insurance choice, but you only do that if you are 100% sure that you're only interested in one of your offers. You cannot swap between your insurance and firm choices, and your insurance choice will disappear once you have been placed with your firm choice. So what happens if you are in the position where you receive no offers from any of your choices? Well, I am pleased to tell you that all is not lost. You still have some options. One of these options is Extra. Extra is a chance to apply to more universities if you are not offered a place at any of your 5 choices, or for some reason you have declined all of your offers. You can use Extra to apply to other universities that still have vacancies. You can apply for several courses in Extra, but only one at a time. Another option is Clearing. You may be entered into Clearing if you have not received any offers, declined all of your offers, didn't meet your conditions, or if you have applied for the first time after the 30th of June. Clearing is where the universities will post a list of the courses that still have vacancies. If you're interested in any of the courses available, you must contact the university yourself and ask if you can be offered a place. You must have permission from the university before you add a clearing choice in track. You may apply for any course that has places left. You do not have to keep to the same subject that you first applied for. For example, if you were originally interested in performance and didn't get in, and you have seen that social science is an option on clearing and you're interested in that, you do not have to fill out a new personal statement. All you have to do is phone up the university and make sure that you meet the entry requirements for social sciences, and hopefully you will be offered a place on that course. Once you have added a clearing choice, you cannot change it until the university has made a decision. Adjustment. You can use adjustment if your results are better than expected and they have both met and exceeded the conditions of your firmly accepted offer. You have up to 5 calendar days from the time your place was confirmed to reconsider where and what you want to study. There are no adjustment vacancy lists. You will need to contact the university directly to discuss the availability of an adjustment place. To secure an adjustment place, you must receive an alternative offer through UCAS before the 5-day period ends. If you do not receive an alternative place, you will remain accepted at your firm choice university. Make sure you fully understand the adjustment process before you pursue it, because if you make a mistake, you may end up with no university offers. So it's super important that you read up on this process before you decide to use adjustment. Clearing, extra and adjustment options will be available through track, and you can find more detailed information regarding these options on the UCAS website. Some key dates. So applications are open now. You can go ahead and apply for any courses that you're interested in through UCAS as of right now. The 15th of October is the application deadline for courses in medicine, dentistry, veterinary medicine, veterinary science, and all courses at Oxford or Cambridge. The 15th of January is the Equal Consideration application deadline. The 25th of February is when Extra opens. The 30th of June is the last date for applications before clearing, and the 5th of July is when clearing opens. I mentioned these virtual exhibitions earlier. If you have a chance, they are really good exhibitions that UCAS have put in place so that you can go and talk to universities and colleges across the UK. They have several events coming up. The first one being Futures in Science, which is the 16th of October. The Futures in Social Sciences, Humanities and Teaching is the 23rd to the 24th of October. The Futures for Students in Scotland, meaning that there's extra information on SAS and student finance for Scottish student exhibition, isn't live, but it is on demand on their website until the 29th of October. The Futures in Maths, Engineering and Computing is on the 2nd and the 3rd of November, and the Futures in Creative Arts is on the 13th and the 14th of November. So if you do have a chance, I do recommend that you pop along to these UCAS events and find out more about the courses and universities that you're interested in. Online open days, I mentioned these earlier as well. They are a super way to find out more specific information on courses at specific universities, and UWS is hosting their own online open day on Saturday the 31st of October from 11 AM till 2 PM. We are doing live talks, interviews and presentations, insights into the programmes that you're interested in studying, Q&A sessions to get the answers to all of your admissions queries, advice on funding, accommodation and tips from current students, virtual tours guiding you around each of our campuses to give you a feel for life and study at UWS, and so much more. So if you are interested in coming to study with us next year at UWS, you can register for our open day now by scanning that QR code on your screen there. I've now come to the end of this presentation, and I have included the QR code to create and download your own personalised UWS digital prospectus. I have also provided the email address and telephone number of our excellent Ask team, who will be happy to help you with any general questions regarding UWS and our courses. Well, thank you very much for joining this webinar on the UCAS application process. I hope it's been somewhat useful, and please don't forget to join us at our next webinar on Wednesday the 21st of October at 6 PM, where we will provide you with lots of helpful hints and tips to personal statement writing. Thanks again. Bye.